This place represents so much to me. For me, this is where it all began. I had a lot of good times and some bad times, all on this field. This is where a foundation was laid. For me, my family, my kids, we spent a lot of time here. It meant everything to me because I was helping someone else. I was helping kids, young men become men. Young boys learned how to become men on this field. Lives were changed because of what we did on this field. I can never take for granted what this place did for me. But this is also one of the first places I realized that seasons change. Coaching football was a season for me. It represented so much at that time in my life. It was a critical season in my life because it gave me purpose, and it caused me to grow. I became a man by coaching. I realized the importance of what it meant to be an advocate for young men who were just trying to figure life out. It was more than just coaching kids to me. I felt responsible for being a mentor, father figure, and just an overall good person in front of those kids. During my coaching years, I realized that I learned to create a foundation. Foundation was critical because I understood what it meant. Foundation is the strongest part of any structure. And by building a strong foundation, that building or that structure never falls. So by putting a foundation on for those kids, I realized that they can carry what we taught them for the rest of their lives. A lot of those kids are doing very well. Most of them are in college, and majority of them are also playing football at the college level. We had a part of that. We had a big part to play in that. And I'll forever be grateful for the opportunity to just impart a foundation for those young men. We took our kids through a lot of hard work, rigorous workouts. I mean, we didn't take time off. Days like this was nothing to us. You see how cloudy it is? This was nothing. Parents knew we was gonna practice rain, sleet, or snow. And they endured it. The kids endured it. Through all the blood, sweat, tears. They endured it all. Still to this day, it's kind of surprising to me because we were dealing with young men, very young men. They didn't know limits. And that's an amazing thing. When football no longer served a purpose in my life, I realized that the season was changing. It was affecting me in a way where it was affecting my family. And I knew once it started to feel like that, it was time to do something different. But once I accepted the season changing, my life changed. Things got better. We elevated in every way, financially. We bought a house, cars, things that really don't matter. But in the world's eyes, it means a lot. We showed our kids what it meant to not care so much about material things because now we have ownership in something. And they embraced it because they saw it. They saw what we were doing. They understood what we were doing. But God took me to a different place. He changed my mindset. Where football at one point was my life, he gave me back to my family. And when he gave me back to my family, I realized what I had missed by not dedicating myself to them. This is all a part of a changing season. It was nothing wrong with what I did when I was coaching football. That was what was due at that time. That's what God wanted me to do. But I also knew when it was time to go, because the longer we hold on to things during a changing of the season, the worse things can get. When you look at a tree, every year, the leaves have to fall. The reason the leaves have to fall is so that the tree can produce new leaves. That's a changing of the season. When you're in the middle of winter, you wear a coat because the season changed. You don't wear shorts and a t-shirt in the middle of a snowstorm. It can cause you harm. Just like you can't wear a winter coat in the blazing hot summer. It can cause you harm. Not moving from season to season when it's time to move can cause you harm. And not only can it cause you harm, it can cause the people around you harm. We have to know when it's time to go. Even some of our friendships, some of our family members, some of these people that we hold on to in our lives, they're causing us harm. And because we've had a relationship with them for quite some time, we feel as if we need to hold on to them. You don't. If it's meant for you to come back to that person in a different season, then it's meant for you to come back. Sometimes you have to take breaks because you might be holding that person back and that person might be holding you back. By staying together and sticking it out, you're actually causing harm to each other. We have to know when to let go. We have to know when to move on. It's the same thing for your jobs. Some of you guys are comfortable in a job where there's no growth. You're not growing, you're not getting better, there's no promotion, you're not making any more money, but yet, because they know you and you're comfortable, you hold on to it. When God really has something greater for you, and you'll never know it until it's time to go. You gotta know when to go. When your season is changing, that means there's a time for promotion. God is nudging you out the door because he has something better for you. Don't fight it. If you feel like it's time to let something go because your season is changing, let it go. I promise you, by letting these things go, life will become better for you. Me, my wife, we've learned to let go. There's a lot of people that we've lost, but there's a lot of people that we've gained in the process. And by letting those people go, we were able to elevate even more. There's no limitations on what God has for you. The only limitation is going to be you. So as long as you're fighting God on the seasons changing, you're not going to grow in the way that you need to grow. If fruit hangs on a tree for too long, it becomes fermented. It's nasty, it's no good, and it dies. That fruit has to fall off that tree in order for new fruit to be produced. You guys are the fruit. Don't allow yourself to get fermented and die by staying in the season for too long. I promise you, it might start off hard, it might start off rocky. That new season might not always feel that great, but the end results are always going to be the same. You will prevail. God bless you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I love you guys immensely, intensely, and unconditionally. Y'all have a wonderful day.